Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another dispatch. Beautiful, sunny, warm day. Surprisingly warm here. It's been cold, but now really, really warm. This is a book that has been waiting for me to read. The Art of Resonance by Anne Bogart. Anne Bogart is a theater and opera director, co-artistic director of the ensemble-based City Company, head of the MFA directing program at Columbia University, and author of 5 books. And I'm not sure where I got this. I think, Rosemary, did you mention this one to me? I think maybe. Thank you. This was published in 2021. So it's theater, but like so much, it's relevant to, arts to arts. Okay, so I'm going to read the introduction and we'll see where we are time wise. And maybe I'll read a little bit more from the beginning on resonance. Introduction. I am writing this book from my little basement study in London in the midst of a global pandemic. Lockdown is the baseline existence I watch as streets in the USA fill with civil unrest and dissent. An uncertain presidential race stumbles. Hospitals and morgues are overtaxed. Many businesses are on the verge of bankruptcy, and most performance venues are shut down for an undetermined amount of time. At moments, the subject of resonance feels too rarefied, too distanced from the current realities, and yet living in this gap that the French so poetically call un creux, a hollow, can be fruitful because it is possible to stop moving around and to take the time to get in touch with what is essential. I am reminded that art and theater were originally created to get us through anxious moments while finding successful shapes to embody our present ambiguities. Significant cultural, social, and political changes generally happen in times of rupture, not in times of stability. Moments of disruption are crucial for artists. In uncertainty and even panic, art has a unique role to reflect what is happening in ways that can clarify and help us to eventually move forwards. Our job as artists is to become consciously resonant to the world rather than alienated from it, to connect with others and to create the conditions for resonance among us. We do not do this by forcing our will upon the world. Rather, we create the circumstances in which resonance might occur. In my own work as a director, both in theater and in opera, I like to imagine that for each new project, we erect an old-fashioned tent in which the event can occur. Tents are generally held up by poles at each corner and perhaps at the center. The first step in the construction of a tent is to plant the tent poles into the ground for structural support. In the context of a rehearsal process, for example, each tent pole forms one of the cornerstones of the production, and altogether they serve as the primary support system for the entire venture. Examples of tent poles for a rehearsal process may be preparation, training, respect for others, a commitment to being present, readiness to take action, and so forth. Many different possibilities exist for what these tent poles can be. Once sunk sufficiently into the ground, the tent poles buttress the particular creative enterprise and ultimately deeply influence the experience of the audience by creating adequate spaciousness to accommodate the imagination. The same is true for other artistic processes. Each tent pole forms a tenant for the overall system. In Japanese samurai culture, the Bushido code played an important role in the expansion of Asian art, Japanese values, tea ceremonies, and sword making. Bushido later became the basis for teaching of ethics in Japan. The code, which drew inspiration from Confucianism, contained 8 key principles, or in our case, tent poles, that warriors were expected to uphold: justice, courage, compassion, respect, integrity, honor, loyalty, and self-control. With these tent poles in place, one could live an ethical life, a life of integrity. In our current moment of rupture, wherein many of the building blocks of our social, cultural, and political systems have crashed to the ground, I feel compelled to carefully examine the pieces and decide what to reconstruct and what to discard. What are the tenets, the tent poles upon which to build the tents of the future? Despite the particulars of our circumstances, we humans continually seek resonance with the world and with other creatures. As artists, our task is to create the circumstances for that resonance to arise. This book is my attempt to examine our artistic allies in the path towards resonance and meaningful experiences. But before planting new tent poles, first I must ask, once again, what are we doing? How are we doing it? And why? Great questions. What a beautiful beginning. I certainly think about painting. All right, maybe just the beginning here. 1, on resonance. On resonance. I am writing in the midst of a pause. Theaters have been shut down for an indeterminate amount of time, and no one knows what the future holds for the art of gathering together to experience performance. In this current moment of empty space, I return to the director Peter Brook's work, to his initial writings for guidance. Over the years, his books of essays have been a model for my own writing. Now I'm going to pause. I'll be back. I'll continue this next time. It's dense, but it's beautiful. I'm totally right on. It makes you want to learn more about Bushido. Very cool. All right. Hope you're all doing well. Painting, making stuff, hanging in there. Okay. Take care. Be well.